We are live, yeah, Hans.
Switch some lights on, yeah.
Lights on, Hans.
Where's the cake? We ate the cake.
We ate the cake and then we ate your mom's pussy.
This girl was way too thick. I had to eat it, yeah.
Her thighs were literally the claps of thunder.
Have you ever been to an Oktoberfest?
I'd actually like to go to one though. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, same.
It'd be lit. It
They
looks
have the girls with the lederhosens on, very low cut, and fucking beer dribbling on them and shit. It's
lit.
like,
Ooh, yes.
we all know there's gonna be that one girl who's gonna be like, oh no, I got uns beer down my lederhosen.
Do you think like
Can you get for me?
can you get for me, young American man?
She's holding like an actual fucking like beer in her hand, but she needs you to get like the couple of driblets that went down her shirt and into her cleavage.
It's also like if you try.
I hope
to
it's
be
not
like,
wasted on like some dumbass guy who's just like, you have one in your hand.
Someone
You
would
have the
be
beer in your hand.
someone would be
that.
that polite. Someone would be that polite and stupid to like kind of just be like, oh yeah, don't worry, I got it. But don't you have one in your hand? Someone would be that fucking square that would do that. You think Beer Fest though?
Dude,
Like,
the German girl totally wanted you.
is that your Chad voice?
I don't know.
David,
This is my
David,
Chad
you're
voice.
already-
I
you're
was gonna
already a
say
Chad.
this
Wait,
is my
wait,
Chad voice,
wait,
motherfucker.
listen. You're already a Chad, so you don't need to do a fake Chad voice. All right, you're a king,
Oh,
bro.
righteous, dude, righteous.
Yo, did
Dude.
frat guys really talk like that?
In
I don't think
imagination land.
I don't think they do it. I don't think they talk like that anymore. They just like, I don't know, dude bros like all kind of sound the same, so they're just like, yeah, bro. They always sound as if they're cutting off their sentences one word short.
Sort of like stop the airflow a little bit before they're actually done.
Puffing their
Like,
chest
listen,
like, hey, bro, 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 bro.
I'm hungry.
Bro, I'm hungry for that.
Listen.
Listen, bro. Listen.
I think you're really cool.
Bro, listen.
And if it's
Bro,
all right
listen.
with you, if it's
Listen,
appropriate
bro.
with you at this time,
Bro,
I would
listen.
like to totally
Listen,
take you
bro.
upstairs and crush your puss.
Oh,
I guess that's okay. No,
With
I'm
affirmative-
gonna. I'm sorry. I'm gonna need affirmative consent. That's one way to lead into our first topic, Dennis. What's that?
Did South Park revitalize a generation or ruin one with its political commentary?
I just
Question
want to
mark.
say, I mean, do you want my stance on this first? This was your topic that you brought to the table.
Uh,
So, I mean, first of all, hello everybody. Welcome to the Double D
yeah,
Experience.
that's a little long overdue. Hello, everybody.
Welcome to the Double D Experience. Sometimes funny, sometimes serious, always off the cuff, and pretty much always irreverent.
Yeah,
Even though not always irreverent, it's mostly irreverent. But speaking of irreverence, South Park is the first topic we have on the day. This was just something on Dennis's mind that he thought about, because I've seen this before myself, man. I've seen people get online and say that, dude, South Park like completely ruined like a generation of mine. It made people completely apathetic to anything like politics. It like that's what some people say about that. And the only example of that I will give to them would be climate change with Man Bear Pig, because there was like about 10 or 20 years ago, whenever the Man Bear Pig episode came out. For those of you that don't know, I mean, it's an episode where they make fun of Al Gore. He keeps talking about conspiracy theories.
Oh,
It's
Man
like,
Bear Pig.
Guys, we're totally gonna stop Man Bear Pig.
Man Bear Pig.
And that's a ploy on him being one of really the first big American politicians to talk about climate change and take it seriously. And back then, nobody believed in it. Nobody believed in climate change. And so
Not even the
South Park
Democrats.
people
Not
did. Yeah,
at least,
even the
not too
Democrats,
much.
yeah.
Not too much.
And
Not as much as they are now.
so they're just sort of like ripping on him in that episode, and then like 10 years later, when even the South Park creators were like, okay, climate change is fucking real, they like brought Man Bear Pig back, and it killed Satan. And they like that shows political commentary is brilliant, but like point is, it's there are some people who claim that it sort of raised a generation of people to be completely apathetic to politics, and before even getting too deep into it, I can't disagree with that more if I tried. I mean,
So you
what
do
do you
that?
think? No, I don't. I disagree with them thinking that, like, oh, South Park, like, it ruined one with its political commentary. Because in my honest opinion, that show is absolute satirical brilliance. I really don't think any animated... I gotta do that burp. Fuck. Morty. Morty.
Oh, Rick! I fucking hate Rick and Morty.
Oh, really?
I only didn't like it because at least okay, I'm not gonna get into this because this is gonna be another like 30-minute thing. But I guess going back to our question.
That show is satirical, not Rick and Morty. South Park is literally satirical brilliance. And as much as I love animated television, I love adult animated television too. But I honestly do think, and South Park is not even my favorite show, not by a long, long shot.
Oh yeah, same here.
But that show, it's with its political commentary and what have you. That show is absolutely just brilliant, and it's just the fact that they come up with it,
top notch.
And that's just impressive as hell. Because if you guys don't know about South Park, it's probably comedy. I think it's Comedy Central's longest running show, bar none. And I
think so.
The thing is with that show is that it's written and produced. The whole thing is produced every week before the episode goes on air. Like, South Park is pretty much one of the most topical shows you will pretty much ever see in your life. And that's because they literally write the episode in the 6 to 7 days before it airs. They write it, they animate it, like it's a weekly sort of thing. There was once an episode of South Park that never aired because they lost power in the studio. Like the day that it was before it was going to air. So they literally just didn't air that episode when it happened. That's how you know that... That's how you know that it's a truth and what they do with this. And before I get into my examples with it, Dennis, this is your topic in the first place. What do you think about this?
Revitalize a generation or ruin one? I think it definitely. I feel as if it did revitalize it, but not in like the traditional sense that you would think revitalizing a generation would be. I feel as if at least the show brought a lot of awareness to a lot of the bullshit that we see in the news and in current events, like throughout our entire lives, and almost put it in a very entertaining sort of context for us to be able to digest it in a way that's also equally entertaining. I think as far as politics go, and for a lot of the topics that they talk about, I almost feel it would not be as entertaining were it not for Matt and Trey, because they're literal, like, I think they're, as far as writers go and also as producers, I believe that's what they are. Like, I might check that a little later. But as far as like their positions go, like, I don't think that a show like that would even be what it is considered by many people in our generation, at least, in that a lot of people, like, I think almost in a way, like, South Park is the reason why that memes themselves kind of even became a thing, in that, like, we had, like, hear me out. This is probably not exactly true, but at least that's how I feel, just kind of at least going off of the timeline. Because we already had satirization of a lot of shit back in the day, even before South Park being what it was. We had political cartoons, we had comics, literal, like, pamphlets, propaganda, all this shit like that. Basically, those were the memes back in the day. Like, you follow me? And now, like
Garfield, it's like
Garfield,
and like he puts his head in the toilet, literally consumes a piece of shit that John left for him earlier because he tripped on a ball. And I hate Mondays. I
actually hate Garfield, but we're not gonna get into that. But
why you gotta hate my boy? All right, whatever. You're right.
I actually did like Garfield, but
no, shut the fuck up. We're not getting into this. Okay. No, we can't make the whole. No, you're the one who said it. I'm reminding you, Dennis. Do you want to have an hour-long political ass discussion about
David is
Garfield
an oppressive
right now?
Manager. Everyone, please cancel him for me.
I'm not a manager. What are you talking about? I'm just saying. Do you want to sit here and have an hour-long?
He's racist.
Do you want to hear an hour-long conversation about David, Garfield? Because I'll do it.
Y'all don't even know, but David keeps me in a basement underneath his house, and like he just set up like a shitty computer and a laptop and a shitty microphone. He's just kind of like, hey, so here's the deal. You're going to be here 24/7. You're never going to see your family or your girlfriend or anybody, but you're going to be co-hosting with me every single day, even though we only record once a week. We're going to record.
Yeah, your story sounds really fucking, like, really tenured now. Yeah, this is definitely what happened. You didn't get it right.
I'm Asian and you're white, so they're going to believe me more, obviously.
You know put the Asian in my Caucasian.
But David, you're not even from the Caucasus, though.
What?
Yeah, that's where that's from. From the Caucasus Mountains.
Oh, the Caucasus Mountains?
Yeah, the Caucasus. I remember one time I said Caucasus and my fucking geography teacher looked at me like a fucking moron. Like I was the dumbest person in the class, and I was like, Oh yeah, the caucus. And like four other people just start staring at me. It's like, yo, is this kid for real? Like, because like, I spoke English fine, so like it's not like this was my second language, and they just kind of went like, it was real quiet for like 5 minutes, and then my teacher was like, "No, Dennis," and he said it in the most like pitiful way, like pity for me. Like, "No, Dennis, it's caucus, like sea caucus. You get it?" I literally left.
I don't see
no,
any cocks
David,
anywhere.
David, listen. I literally left that class.
Oh.
No, I picked up my books and just walked out.
Oh, Denise.
I didn't show up for 2 other days.
Oh no.
I'm joking about that story. But like,
Oh my god. All right. Fucking. Wow. Way to waste time, Dennis. What were you saying about South Park? Whatever.
Oh, okay. So I feel as if we after South Park, I mean South Park is already like a very like Simpsons level long running show at this point, and I think it might even surpass South Park, maybe Simpsons one day, because I feel as if Simpsons is also kind of like I don't know what
It's
like
terrible now.
yeah, like it's not as good as it once was before. I'm gonna be a little
Not
neutral
even
about it
close.
because I don't really watch it that much anymore. I've always watched clips of it on YouTube, and I always just thought they were funny, haha, and like thing just kind of like went about my day. Family Guy is probably the bottom tier of all of them now because like just it being what it is.
Family Guy was actually supposed to end years ago, and then Fox, just pretty much demanded they make more.
Was it
because-
Fox or Todd? Or Seth? Seth, my bad. Sorry,
Todd? What the?
I was thinking Todd McFarlane. My bad.
You want to talk about actual like Chad names right there? Todd. I don't know, but I mean Seth is clearly all right with it. And that show is. Still
I mean, it's
pretty
making
much
him
gonna
money.
Set him up for life. So,
It has set him
yeah,
up for life at this point. And
Pretty
like,
much, yeah. But
that's why he's tried to branch out to other things, and it's all like that hasn't panned out as nearly as good as fucking Family
I don't
Guy.
know, man. A Million Ways to Die in the West. I love that movie.
I thought it was mildly funny. I thought it was mildly
hysterical.
funny. Each
Bro,
their
Neil
own.
Patrick Harris has like a husband and 2 kids, and he agreed to
Wait,
do
in that movie? In that movie?
No, in real life.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. I mean, I knew that.
And he agreed. He agreed to do a scene where he just takes a massive diarrhea fucking Duke in a hat, like twice. All the while I'm thinking about, this man is classy. He's comes from the Broadway, like, Esquire of New York City.
He's one of those snazzy New Yorkers.
Yeah, the man's immensely talented. And there's a movie where he's just taking a fat shit in a hat. In front of everybody. In front of, like, the whole town. In front of his girl. In front of everybody. But, to answer a question here, I don't think it did either. I don't think South Park ruined a generation with political commentary. I don't
even
think
revitalized
that
it.
I don't think it revitalized it in the slightest. I think South Park is for people who really see the bullshit and everything, but that doesn't mean that they're completely like apathetic. Yes, like the thing with like people like saying like, oh, like South Park ruined a generation with its political commentary. Whatever. Give me any semblance of flack for saying this, but I'm sorry, that is an SJW opinion. Like,
Sounds like it too. It really does sound like one.
Like, it literally just all of a sudden the internet was just completely hating on South Park one day, saying like, oh, South Park just completely made people like totally apathetic. And I'm like, that's not true at all. I love that show, but it doesn't mean I don't care about any issues.
I wouldn't
at
know a
all.
lot
If
about
anything,
current events
them
were not
too. Like, to talk about, like, climate change as well, like, I mean, the episode what they did in Man Bear Pig, they even acknowledged, that whole episode is literally about acknowledging they were wrong about it, like, 10 years prior. And then it ends with them, like, making a deal with Man Bear Pig to just delay it for, like, 5 more years over and over. Like, like the fucking oil companies and shit get done with by, like, the fucking, what am I thinking of here? The lobbyists and stuff. It's like that. It's literally like that's beautiful political commentary on why climate change continues to be a problem. Same with like the 2016 election, because I will tell you, my friends, it's better than anything I've seen on any news network, bar none. Their political commentary on the 2016 presidential election is the greatest commentary on that election that I've ever seen from any source. CNN, MSNBC, Fox, the internet, whatever.
Fuck all those news networks.
Their
Fuck all
fucking commentary was better than anything. And if you want to know what that is, and I'll link it in the description, I guess, or probably forget to, because I always forget to link it in the description. But basically, like Hillary Clinton's about to go out there with Mr. Garrison, who is Donald Trump.
Yeah.
In the show, and
I love that transformation. It was so
yeah,
good.
same.
As the episodes progressed, it was just so good seeing.
I'm gonna fuck them all. Yeah, like, she's literally just told by her managers, like, all right, Mrs. Clinton, your opponent out there, he's a monster. Whatever you do, no matter what he says, no matter what comes out of his mouth, you just say, my opponent is a liar and cannot be trusted. And she's like, got it. And what happens is that
I remember
Mr. Garrison goes out there and he like says to the people, "It's like, everybody, I gotta be honest. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing at all. I am grossly underqualified for this position. If you hire me, I guarantee this country will burst into fucking flames within a couple of years. I will make everything worse. If you care about the future of America at all, vote for her. She at least has some experience. You know, she was the Secretary of State for however many years. If you actually care about the future of this country, vote for her. I will ruin shit so unbelievably fast. Just do not vote for me. Vote for her." And guess what Hillary responds with? "My opponent is a liar and cannot be trusted." Over and over and over. The most brilliant fucking commentary I've ever seen on the 2016 election, because all Trump did back then was just shoot himself in the fucking foot over and over and over and over again. And then in response, Hillary never talked about how good of a president she was going to be. She never talked about like how I'm going to be better.
Oh, she always just talked shit, didn't she?
Yeah, she never said like, I'm going to be better than this guy. Here's how I'm going to be better than this guy. She thought she was such a shoo-in against Trump that she didn't have to do anything. All she had to do was continuously trash on him, which all it did was make her look like a standard, politician, trash on the other guy instead of talking about what makes me good. And as a result, because people blame all their problems on the president after 8 years of Obama, they thought, all right, this guy's a psychopath, but I'm down to try something new. She thought she was such a shoo-in that she didn't have to show how good she was, how good of a president that she would be, rather than like, let this guy shoot himself in the foot, it'll work out for me. But apparently America just wasn't ready to elect a woman.
Hold on. I think also this is the reason why. I don't know. I feel as if maybe we shouldn't get too into the 2016 election, since that was like, what, 5 years
I'm
ago?
just saying, South Park's fucking commentary on it was brilliant.
I know, but that's why I'm saying, like, as far as like her thing went, that is also the reason why, like, I felt like even me, when I was watching that, like, I didn't watch any of the debates, because I don't ever. Yeah, but like at the very least,
I couldn't.
I watch highlights here and there, but it's like I always like the day after those debates, I saw the memes that came out and some of the shit that they said that people memed, and it's like one of them being like, Trump's like, wrong. It's like, wrong. China.
We have the best Mexican food in my Trump tower.
This is why I also feel like when old Joe and his handlers like probably like kind of got into was like touching base, and like they were basically just I have a feeling all they basically did was just they pulled up that debate and every other dumb shit that Hillary did and just said, you see all this? Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do any of this shit. Don't look like a fucking lizard inside of a suit. Like, just don't do that, okay? Just look as if you're actually kind of human, okay? I hate...
A quarter of America already believes you're a lizard in a suit, Mr. Biden.
Looks like my fucking, like, principal. Like, she looks like an ex-principal of mine.
I mean, dude...
Everything about her is so unlikable.
I'll never forget when, like, those...
I'll
never
never
forget when, like, those radical...
I'm not done. Because, like, I have to say, like, whenever that election came up when I was on campus back in the day, I remember, since I was taking a history course, like, we were all talking politics, obviously, when this election was coming around. And, like, I remember so many people were, like, also confident, and at the same time, it's like no one else was calling out her shit in my class. Because I get it, y'all hate this other guy so fucking much, but at the same time, you're not calling out her bullshit. Do you not see the smugness on her fucking face? This bitch has the gall to think like, oh yeah, he's already torpedoing his fucking campaign. Like, there is no way that I could lose. And bitch, what happened? Literally the night of, you lost.
I don't think America was like
all these fucking shitty ass, fuck MSNBC, fuck CNN, and all these places, but all these places were coming out and saying, "Yo, it's a shoo-in for her. She gonna win. Like, no worries." And I was already thinking, like, I kind of low key believed him because even I did also feel like this guy's like saying a lot of shit that's problematic for probably anybody. So it's like I could not understand like how in the fuck like he did get elected. But then after a while and after he was in office for like at least a month, I started to get it. Or at the very least, I kind of started to realize it even a little bit after he got elected, just because I also realized like, oh yeah, that's why. Because people like the way I hate her is probably the same way a lot of other people hate her. This bitch is literally got like, she's thinking like, oh, I'm gonna ride the coattails of basically Obama, because that's what basically she was doing. Everyone kind of thought like, or at least she thought, and her I guess campaign managers and shit probably all thought like, oh, okay, like, you know, everyone loved Obama. Not everyone loved Obama. Like everyone like loved Obama, like therefore like I was part of his cabinet, so everyone should ergo love me. Plus, first woman president. That'll get the headlines rolling. And yeah, it kind of did. They were also going to make coins for this bitch. But at the same time, it's like,
really going off.
Like, you blew it. And nobody gave her shit. Why? She literally, if she campaigned, I also even thought of this. Like, because I remember even just looking up how he was campaigning. Like, you know, Donnie T. Fucking guy was literally running around everywhere. Every day he was in a different state. And she's just like the equivalent of that fat fuck like thing on the couch and just being like, you know, I'll get to it when I get to it. House is on fire, but like, you know, it's like, you probably should clean up the house. Nah, I'll get to it when I get to it. That's basically how her attitude was. And like, I really didn't like how, like, again, nobody gave a shit for losing. Everyone just kind of said, oh my God, it was such a surprise. It's like, everyone, don't give me that. Like, everyone knows why. It's because of her. And also have him, like, you know, for at least how he campaigned and such. I think it was just at least 10 times better than whatever she was doing. Plus, like, she's got, like, old Bill, like, carting him around. Like, I'm like, why is he here? Why do you have your like, ghoul of a husband over there? Like, get him out of here. We're not here for him. We're here for you. If it's like what I would tell people, like if they were like going for Democrats back in those days, because it's like, you know, Bill ain't exactly the most, I guess, clean guy you can bring to that kind of thing, just because everyone still kind of knows what happened with him and Monica. So I'm just kind of like, why would you bring this guy, the husband that cheated on you, to your fucking campaign? Like, what is he gonna do? Every time I saw him, it looked as if he was gonna drop dead, like right there. Like every picture I saw of him just looked like he was like this close to just having a heart attack, or he might be seeing them bright lights a little too much. Ugh. But yeah, I think South Park did not revitalize a generation. No, I also think it just kind of made them. It definitely at least brought the bullshit.
You just went off.
Wait, hold on.
For like 7 fucking minutes about Hillary Clinton.
This is why this is seamless. She, like, at least as far as the, like, where South Park stands and all that, I have a feeling at the very least it brought us attention to the bullshit. And it made us very aware of it. And it also at the same time, yes, that did lead to apathy in some areas. And it also didn't revitalize it, but it also did a different thing where it was just, now we I feel as if South Park kind of helped nurture a lot of people's bullshit detectors. Because whenever we read a lot of bits and news and shit, like we kind of sometimes have no idea what the fuck is going on, because like, one, a lot of times it's not as digestible as it would be if we watched a 20-minute episode about it from South Park and then there's kind of them going off. I'm not saying that everyone should be getting their news from South Park. I'm not saying that, but at the same time, it's like it brought current events and shit to our attention in a way where we laughed and had fun with it, while at the same time also realizing, oh, because Matt and Trey are fucking geniuses, and like they are also one of the most, like, two of the most at least, like brutally honest people I've ever met in my life. And the way they talk about certain topics and even the way that they kind of portrayed it on screen, like through their characters. Because, like, you know, everyone kind of knows, like, you know, Stan and Kyle and Cartman and Kenny, like, I think all of them are like sort of like kind of like pieces of that, like, I guess, bit of news or story, and like, you know, how we see it is kind of through their lens. But at the same time, like, a lot of those characters kind of do represent us and how we react to it. At least, like, for a lot of those people who I guess are very sort of positive and supportive, Kyle is that character, like, through and through. Stan is just kind of like the fucking bumbling idiot half the time, and like he doesn't really know. Like, a lot of episodes that I see him in nowadays are just kind of like him just kind of fumbling around and just being like, I don't know, like so confused about everything. And
he unfortunately has like more of Randy in him than he wishes.
He's more Randy now than he ever has been, like currently. And it's really funny because you see a lot of Randy-isms through Stan, and it's so overt now compared to how it was, I think, even before, because Randy's also like kind of the average person in a way in a lot of those events, because it's just kind of like, you know, Randy's just
they took like the standard idiot dad and like amped it up to an actual like smart comedy notch, in my opinion. I think Randy supersedes. I think he's the best character on the show.
Oh yeah,
in my opinion.
I think Cartman's up there with me.
Yeah, I think he's even surpassed Cartman, but at the very least, he did in the poll that they did way back then, because they did a poll and it was Randy versus Cartman, and Randy actually won
by like a landslide.
I don't remember. This was years ago. Who knows?
Gotta go into the books.
But to go on that, yeah, honest to God, I if you're really worried about like South Park making people like a bunch of centrists, it's like, dude, no, South Park attracts people like that, and, you know, makes them aware of all the bullshit, like you said. But that's not what's necessarily going to make them centrist. Like, people are not, at least intelligent people, which, you know, say what you will. I think most people, you know, I think most people can think for themselves on some sort of level, at least.
I feel
they're not gonna get their news from fucking South Park. Like, my political opinions never come from South Park, literally ever. It's like, dude, those people were going to be centrists anyway. You know what I mean?
They
Like,
already
if
made
you're
up their
worried
minds.
about like teenagers, if you're worried about like teenagers like seeing shit like that and becoming like centrists, I really don't know what else to say to that. Are you worried about like any semblance of, are you worried about any sorts of media that they see that will shape their opinion if that opinion isn't yours or whatnot? Like, you're acting like South Park literally is like this brainwashing program that stops people from thinking for themselves. It's not. You know, like, my beliefs never changed.
Wait, is this towards me?
No. I'm talking in general. I'm talking about the people who, you know, still say South Park is, it's ruining a generation. Like, it made an entire generation of people not care about politics. No, you want to know what made an entire generation of people not care about politics?
Tell them.
Our dumbass fucking politicians. Yeah, like the fucking mainline media, you know, like Fox News, like with their biases, and like CNN with their biases. That's what made us all hate that shit so much. That's what made us all into centrists of people who like feel like we couldn't take anymore of this, because it's anxiety inducing. It's fucking stressful to a lot of kids. People, like, stress levels, like people's anxiety levels for kids are up way more historically than they've literally ever been. They literally call us the anxiety generation because of like this, because of just, you know,
it's in our face all the time.
It's in our face all the time because of the mental health problems that like our generation has. You really think that's because of fucking South Park? Really? Like, no, it's because of the fucking actual political landscape. Have you ever taken a second to think maybe the political landscape is shit and that's why people are, you know, sort of apathetic to politics? Not because not because a show pointed it out? Is that what you really think? Like, no, it's not because South Park's twisted or anything like that. It's because South Park is the only show that actually really sort of calls it like it is.
Yeah.
Or actually, that's not even true. Other shows do, but South Park, you know, is like much more heavier on the political satire, I guess. It's just they're not afraid to attack anyone. And I feel like some other shows are definitely are, especially depending on what network the show comes from. I've seen like shows I saw, I mean, I think that whatever that show was, Broad City, literally had Hillary Clinton on it. And there was like slow motion of her like walking towards like the two girls of that show because they met them and she was like this idol or whatever, and it's like blah blah blah.
Wait, well, she wasn't playing a character? Like, she was literally just playing herself?
Herself, yeah. Like, Hillary Clinton was like on that shit. And it's like, dude, no, like, if anything, like when people are apathetic to like politics, it's because either they are misinformed, you know, that is one thing. Some people can just be misinformed about stuff, which is not good. That's not a South Park problem. That's just a problem with our educational system that has nothing to do with that
and
show.
Media. And media in general.
And media in general, yeah. it's not like this one thing, made an entire generation of people apathetic. If anything, I feel like it really made them aware that everybody is, sort of full of shit in some aspect, in some way. And frankly, if you don't believe that, I think you're the naive one. If you're no better than the fucking like hardcore conservatives who think everything Rush Limbaugh, may he rest in hell. By the way, I'm pissing on that fucker's grave as soon as I can find. They're actually burying him in a very secluded place, because of that very reason. They're not revealing where he's going to be buried. Yeah. Because, dude,
pussy.
God knows that guy's grave is
pussy.
going to be super. Dude, I would take a fucking fat shit on that man's grave if I ever found it.
Where was he? What state was he? I guess his job part of.
I don't know, like fucking Texahoma.
Texahoma, Louisiana.
Texahoma Yoning, yeah. I don't know, bro, but some fucking down state. You know what I mean? But what was I just saying? South Park. Yeah. Speaking of my piece on that is that like what was I just saying? It's like fuck.
It's not South Park's fault. It's very much like the media at large, as well as like the educational system that we have in place, because everyone's kind of it almost seems as if like everyone has to have a bias at this point. And I feel as if that was already kind of a thing even like before 2016, like in 2015, because ever since like the whole what do you call it, like the fat bitch color my hair movement, SJW movement, everyone just had every fucking mouth breather out there like just had to have an opinion and had to post it up there and everything.
Yeah, and I remember what I was gonna say now. Go on.
And personally, for me, I feel like it kind of all of that reached a fever pitch on January 6th. 6th. Couldn't say 6th for some reason. 6th. 6th. And I almost feel it's... I don't want to be no like doomsayer or whatever, but it's like, we may have another January 6th, and also because like just how even more divided the whole House and Senate is now. And not to mention of how like divided people are. Like literally, Georgia was won by the skin of their nuts, and
the skin of their nuts
by like,
and
also the 2020 election was also won by the Democrats by the skin of their nuts. And I also found it so dumb, and almost, I guess not dumb, but I almost felt like y'all celebrated too soon before, and look where it got you. And y'all won, sure, but at the same time, it's like, this guy hasn't even done anything. And you're already thinking this guy's like your messiah and he's going to deliver you from hell.
I mean, dude,
I didn't understand that. Like, that's just me, at least, because I was a lot more tempered when he won, because it's like, yeah, you made all these promises, but so has every other fucking politician since 1776 and on. And like I would love it if like Biden went like, yeah, we're gonna go and get rid of student debt and this and that or whatever, and no one even clapped. Not a single person even fucking let out a whoop in that crowd. I feel as if if that ever did happen,
which it never would.
I know, but in my own fantasy, I feel as if that did happen, like that would really scare a lot of politicians, because now I feel as if that's when they'll realize, like, I have a feeling we've been let down enough this last year and a half alone that I could see that apathy come out even more stronger for politics, in a way where it's like, we're not going to cheer for you until we see results, which is exactly what I kind of want to see nowadays, especially from, I guess, whoever you're supporting, whether it be the Republicans or like Democrats, because I don't know, like one guy that I remember reading about kind of said like politics is basically like the game of false promises and making no promises. And we've seen it so many times where like so many of these fuckers, like even like the good ones too, all kind of say the same shit, and like we're just kind of have to sit there and be like, yeah, but like a lot of us also are just kind of like, yeah, we'll wait and see, because like he's just saying shit, and that's talk is cheap, like because that's all these guys do first, and then when we do see results, that's when I feel as if they should go like, yeah, this guy's our dude, he fucking did it, or at the very least, like, he didn't let us down. Yeah, he's as slimy as the rest of them, but who gives a shit? Like, he actually at least helped us. I don't know. Like at least like this whole like optimism first and then disappointment is like that's all on you guys. Like not I guess particularly to you guys in our audience, but like to the at least people who do watch politics at large. Just because like haven't y'all been like disappointed enough at this point? Like like how much more fucking over the desk can you take at this point? Like why is you so happy when this guy did nothing yet? It's only February. A lot of things I guess you can kind of say like have been done through at least the executive orders and such, and like we got more vaccines on the way and all that, but at the same time it's like again, it's only February. Motherfucker's only been in office for 1 month. Technically, really only 1 month. 30 something days. And it's just like I don't understand like why everyone still feels as if like yeah, he's our guy. When it's only been 1 month. Like, he hasn't proven himself at all. Go ahead, David.
I really don't know what to say to any of that. That was like, I'm not sure what any of that has to do with South Park. Dennis, you went on like 2 fucking giant political tangents. Like,
nah, they're not even.
twice.
They're barely political. That's just me being angry.
Barely political. What are you fucking
no,
smoking?
Listen. No, listen. That's not political in the way that I guess a lot of people would think. That's just me being angry at the whole system entirely. Because
that's what everyone thinks they're doing when they talk about politics.
No, but I trash on both sides too. That's the thing, though. That's why it's like apolitical, because I hate both sides.
Yeah, look what South Park did to you, huh?
Yeah, it ruined my generation.
Awful. Dude, the way, I mean, I feel like the people who like hate on South Park like that, you know, think that like everything their guy says is right, everything the other people say is wrong. It's like you're no better than like fucking Rush Limbaugh and shit who like, you know, preached, you know, who literally like had a whole segment on his show talking about listing gay people who died from AIDS recently. And you're no better than like, well, actually, no, you are better than that. I'm not gonna lie. You
by like
2%. You already are better than that already. But you know what? It's like if you would you rather somebody be listening to somebody who constantly thinks they're right on that front, or like would you rather like children or like young people listen to somebody super extreme and like radicalize them for like something bad potentially, or would you rather have them like have issues laid out like how they are and then let them formulate an opinion based on what the truth is? You know, because I feel like South Park only like with like the sort of quote-unquote centrist side that they take really lishes out issues like they are. Like that show shat on Trump. Made a whole like they turned like a whole thing about like, you know, like making awareness for people who like, you know, text and drive and whatnot, and made it a whole thing about how, you know, presidents shouldn't tweet when they should be focused on being the president. Like they made a whole stance on that. Is South Park suddenly okay then? I don't know, but whatever. We've been talking about this for way too fucking long. Honest to God, I just want to nuke this fucking shit episode already. And whatever. You wanted to talk about Texas? Is that what you were trying to segue into like literally 10 fucking minutes ago, Dennis? Is that what you were trying to do? Because I feel like you said you were gonna do it, and you said you even said that you weren't even gonna get political, and then you went off on Biden supporters for like 15 fucking minutes. My man's out here, he's sitting at his desk right now, and he's calling that apolitical?
That is apolitical.
Suck my dick, Dennis.
I am
You're
apolitical.
wrong.
I am
You're stupid.
apolitical.
And you're not.
You're part of the problem, David, too.
I'm a part of the problem. I'm a part of the fucking problem for what?
Well, why are you like throwing finger pointing and stuff right now? That's what these other people are doing.
Because I want to blame someone else for my problems, Dennis. I feel better that way. Okay? I don't fucking want
David,
any goddamn personal accountability. That's fucking stupid.
I haven't laughed like that in so goddamn long.
Why are you laughing, Dennis? You're wasting more time. What are you doing, asshole?
Because I'm enjoying myself, that's why.
God, what is your problem?
Texas, so why it's happening and it's crumbling infrastructure.
I don't care. Fuck Texas. I don't want to talk about Texas. I want to talk about Dennis and all of his problems. Fucking ruining everything with his Biden rants.
Prejudice equality is my middle name. Anyways,
yes, actually Texas. I'm fucking with you, dude. I just I'll tell you that now.
You best believe the second.
No, you best believe the second these cameras go off.
Oh yeah, David's gonna give me a real tongue lashing.
You're going right back in the cage that you were talking about before.
It's like in that shitty dog cage with the shitty newspapers used for like a mat, and like it's like a little dog like a water bowl like in the corner. And it's like, yeah, go in there. Yeah, you know what you did, fucking moron.
Open the cage so I can see. Shut up, dog.
It's got like the blanket over it too. It's just like no sunlight, no happiness. You don't see nothing except the computer and the microphone.
See, I'm perfectly fine, doing that to fucking humans like Dennis who deserve it. But I like the second some shit like that would happen to like a dog, it's like fuck that. If actual animals.
Oh,
but
I love dogs too much. Like when I see stuff like that, even in movies, I'm just like no. Like I actually get really mad when I see like dogs mistreated. Like I know it's just acting because they always have to say like no dogs or any animals were harmed in the making of this film. Like
literally nothing happened at the beginning of The Art of Racing in the Rain, and my dad already started bawling. Like before the opening title cards were even fucking over, and I'm like, Dad, are you serious? Like nothing happened yet. He's only been in office for a month. Dad, why are you crying? Why are you crying, Dad? God,
Dad, literally the only significant thing that he has done is run across that stage and get to the podium. That is the most significant thing he's done like up to this point.
Yeah, vaccines. Texas, what's happening in Texas is that I'm sure you've all like been looking at the news and shit. Dennis, fuck this. I don't care. Daft Punk broke up today.
Oh my god, did they really?
Yes, they split up. They announced they're splitting up today after 28 years. I'm not.
So now it's Daft and Punk.
I'm just gonna power through that one. All right. We don't even have enough time to talk about Daft Punk. If you've been paying attention to the news at all, you know that I hate you so much, Dennis.
You're so irreparably horny. I love you.
I know I am, but that's not your problem. There's nothing you can do about that because you're not a woman. And even if you were, you'd be the ugliest fucking woman I've ever seen in my life.
God damn, where's this coming from?
It's coming from every man who's ever used those stupid like gender swap apps. 90% of people who use those things, you'd be ugly as fuck as a woman.
I don't know. I actually used one for fun, and like I thought like I looked okay. Like I looked like a solid 7 if I put on some makeup and shit.
For guys like me, it doesn't get rid of the beard. Okay,
oh, yeah.
It tries its best, but it doesn't.
Do you remember that bearded lady that was on the news like a long time ago?
Was she Asian?
No,
because I remember like the world's longest beard was on this woman from China who was like a carny or something. Just
no, not her. It was like some lady from I think England. I think she was Middle Eastern. She basically like was on the news for a while, and everyone was like it wasn't even like like oh my god, she's so brave for being out there, being a woman with a beard. It was just like. Yo, there's this lady with a beard. That's literally all the headlines were.
This girl just didn't feel like shaving in her life, or she never had anybody to teach her, and as a result, it just...
Maybe.
Just grew all the way up, like, I bet the guy...
Just like... Yeah. It's got that bush for the... for the fucking beard.
It's not even the drapes at that point, what you can call it. What does the carpet even fucking match at that point? Like the wall? Like the wall? What do you call the beard of a woman? Oh, hey, baby, does the carpet match the drapes? I don't have any carpet.
How much money would it take?
I have hardwood.
Wait. How much money would it
That'd be
take for you to date a woman
with a beard?
With a beard. Well, would you even give her a chance if she was cool?
Let me think. Because how thick of the beard are we talking? Because is like my beard gonna sort of negate it to the point where I'll just feel like it's like my facial hair if I ever like if when I kiss her and stuff? Or are we talking like freaking?
She's got 2 modes.
Dumbledore, she drags that shit where she goes.
No. Hell no. That's even too much even for me to even like kind of entertain. One, kind of scratchy stubble.
Yeah.
2, a little thick, but not like long beard, just a little thick, like kind of like how a lot of those Middle Eastern guys look.
Stop.
And they kind of grow out their beard.
No, my answer is no.
So to both. Not even stubble. It's like I'd give you $10,000.
Well, how long do I have to date this woman? Just the rest of my life? Because if so, 10K is not fucking worth it.
I mean, hey, like, what if you do start to like her? It's just like the only thing getting in the way of it all is just the beard.
Yeah, sexual compatibility. That doesn't matter at all.
You just have to bring her up. You just have to bring it up with her. It's like, look, Yanni, I love you. I really do. I really do. But
Yanni.
you're, I don't know. Maybe one day I'd like to marry you, but like that, just that's the fucking beard. Like, do you have to keep it on?
I've been having some issues. It's just sometimes it falls.
Like when you go down on me,
inside of me.
I feel scratched when you go down on me. Okay,
like it's all red around my fucking shaft now. It's like it's.
I have a rash. I have a rash down there because of your stubble. Okay, like
you don't have foreskin, but I'm telling you, when one of them things gets caught in there. It's just not supposed to be there, man. It's like this little prickly hair. It's like, you ever know what it's like to feel like you have a fucking cactus in your dick hole? Just poking at you over and over again. I'm fucking 24. I didn't think I was going to get that feeling for at least another 30 years when I'm like fighting kidney stones and shit.
I'm like in the background as you're saying all this and I'm just dying of laughter.
Dude, no. I thought the whole thing I was thinking about like kissing her and how weird it would feel on my face and how gross that would feel to me. But then you even brought about her going down on me, and then I'm going to think about how I'm literally going to be feeling this fuzziness going up and down the shaft of my cock. And, like, I don't...
Every kiss is going to be a little bit of a tickle on your body.
Oh, bro, every kiss begins with...
Every kiss begins with...
Stop, ew. No, 10K is not fucking worth that, dude. Hell no.
What about all my stimmy checks from here to whenever I may get them?
That's probably not even 10K.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah,
what are you talking about? That's even worse.
I was doing the math in my head. I was like, oh yeah. I was like off by 1 0. That was me in math class. I was that dumb idiot that's like, oh yeah, that looks right, and I'm off by like 2 zeros.
Hi, I'm Timmy Turner, and I
cheated on my math test.
Hey, yo, man, who hasn't cheated on the math test at least once? I cheated many times, but I never got caught, though, as far as my tests went. I remember one math test back in 5th grade that I did that trick where, like, I had, like, answers on my hand. So, like, the entire time, I just kind of had it fist, like, as I'm... just, like, I look like I'm so angrily taking the test. I'm just, like as I'm clenching my
You're telling me that you, the
Asian, yes, David.
You cheated on your math test,
and all racial barriers here, okay? Anyways, yes.
Dude, if anything, I think we're the problem then, not South Park.
I also failed that test.
Amazing. Man's literally cheated and he still won. Dude, you're worse than... You're just like Trump. You're just like Trump. You cheated and you still fucking lost to the corn pop. Whatever.
I mean, he won in 2016, though.
Yeah.
Even he probably thought he wasn't going to win.
No, he definitely didn't. Mr. Garrison didn't. That's the whole point.
Literally told people, like, I am not qualified for this.
Considering where we are in the episode right now,
talking about bearded ladies in South Park.
Yeah, part of me kind of wants to talk about the Texas situation, but like that's more like an informative thing. Rather, we could talk about that, but I really did want to talk about the Nairo thing while it's topical.
Oh yeah, please. You have the floor.
Fuck, you have the floor. Do I though? I don't know which one of these I actually want to talk about right now.
How about Smash Addiction?
No, fuck that. That's stupid. Who wrote that there? Literally, who the fuck wrote that there? It was probably like.
It was Havid Haribarol.
Is that like my fucking Iranian name?
Habib.
Havid.
No, Habib.
Habib.
I'm gonna call you Habib from now. I'm gonna get like your avatar and just draw like a really offensive Middle Eastern beard on it.
Dude, I have like dude, my friend is the type of Middle Eastern, and like he left his bag inside of a restaurant, and my other friend literally told him to his face, he's like, dude, you of all people should not be leaving like random bags in public places. I'm like, why did you say that?
At least it wasn't an airport. Hey!
Oh fuck. Okay.
Oh.
Hey,
what's that money? Anyway.
Must be the money.
David, pick your topic. Pick your poison.
This is the worst episode ever. I want to die.
Hey, man, David. I had fun. Bearded ladies are hot right now.
Yeah, you do it for 10K.
If I wasn't with my girl in an alternate universe, nah.
Would you agree to a
couldn't-
threesome with you and your lady, but she picks the other woman, but she picks the bearded lady? Like, what would
Nah,
would you do it?
Nah. And even in the universe where, like, I guess that I'm like thinking about it, and like you're giving me or offering me 10K, I just couldn't get past the beard. I'd be superficial as hell with that.
The worst part is that some women are into like guys' asses.
Yeah.
What if she is, dude?
I mean,
I can't.
That doesn't sound
I'm
too
not
bad.
sure if I could with the hair rubbing all.
Oh,
over
with the hair.
your-
Oh,
with-
okay.
Yeah, rubbing all over your ass. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, yeah. All right, yeah, you're right. That would be a little problematic.
Yeah, this
Like,
is
you
what I
go
will
home-
say.
You go home and take a shit, and it's just kind of like, fuck, I want to like scratch my asshole.
Yeah. To you girls who out there who are into eating men's asses, you are legends. Because a man's ass, let's be real, is the most objectively disgusting thing.
Oh, give me a
has
break.
ever
Everyone's
graced
asshole is like
this-
fucking disgusting.
Well,
You kidding me?
that's a fallacy.
Yeah, no, it's not. Every person out there, like, even, you know what? Here's the thing.
Dude, guys'
I had
buttholes have, like-
No, listen to me. I have a friend who used to work at, not a Target, but I think it was like at a restaurant. And he told me that every now and then he had to go and clean the toilets. And one day he had to go into the women's toilet. He said this to me. The women's toilets, for some fucking reason, were almost 10 times dirtier than the fucking men's. And then I remember Bergen Community College, and I remember my ex at the time, she said, like, the stalls in there, like, they are gross as fuck. Every single time she went in.
Dennis,
And
that
even,
doesn't-
like, a couple of my friends, too, like, all were saying, like, some of, like, my friends who are females, they all, like, tell me, like, yeah, like, I don't know what it is, but, like, how are your guys' bathrooms? And I'm like, I mean, yeah, there's the occasional piss stain on the floor and, like, the
about
lone
the
shit on the fucking thing.
bathrooms, Dennis. I'm talking about the actual.
Dude, we clean our assholes the same way everyone does. The only difference is when you go before you go down on someone's asshole is that you have to clean it. So
Dennis, I'm
literally,
talking about the journey, not the destination here, man. Like, dude.
no.
what-
Like, I have to push back on that because everyone's asshole is like almost equally filthy. Like, there's no doubt about it. I don't care.
Yeah, but
like,
guys
how
have like
cl-
fucking hair on theirs and shit.
So what? We can pluck them. So then, like, girls don't
Do
have
they
ass.
though? Do they though?
I know, but also at the same time, girls they have hair on their assholes too.
You tell me you're gonna like 40-year-old virgin yourself? Get like a fucking wax.
Oh my
on your
god,
taint?
I saw that scene and I was just kind of like, how do you go that long without just being like, all right, yeah, this is a bit of a problem. Like, looking at yourself in the mirror, like, and just seeing like, fucking, you're practically Sasquatch, like, in human form. Like, how do you not look at yourself and just at least think like, okay, maybe I should like at least just trim this a little bit, or
The issue
laser.
of the female form, being the objectively beautiful thing there, and men just being ugly is a topic that I could actually go off for quite some time. I'm not starting it now.
I'm not wrong on that. I think everyone's asshole is equally disgusting.
I
Equality,
think-
gender equality, true gender
I
equality.
ate ass once. I didn't like it.
Did it taste a little salty?
Nah, yeah, it is. Yeah.
Tasted some of that Chipotle corn left
Oh
over.
my God. Yeah. It's like she was appreciative. She audibly said thank you. Me, on the other hand, I was just like, whatever. I mean,
Any girl that has to say thank you like that clearly did not enjoy it.
this is the same woman who tried to get me to eat my own jizz, by the way. Yeah, wherever you are out there, you're a freak. You're a fucking freak. I don't know what you're doing nowadays, but sure.
She's telling other boys to lick their own jizz.
I think she's quite happy nowadays. Actually, she's got a boyfriend now and everything.
Oh,
so,
okay, all right.
Yeah, she's big chilling, and now she gets to eat his asshole.
And then have him lick his jizz.
I hope that man's into that.
God,
Anyway.
imagine if he listens to this and like he's like, and he goes to her. It's like, so is that like your thing? Like, because he probably thought like when it happened, like, oh, it's just like a one-time thing, whatever. But like, it's like he finds out like, no, she's asked this of like almost every guy that she's probably been with.
What made me so special, Dennis?
You're a
That
handsome man.
she offers me. I'm the handsome one. That's why she offers me to eat my own fucking excrement.
That's not excrement.
Did I say it? Doesn't excrement mean anything that comes out of your body?
Yeah, but like,
Is that just poop?
But contextually though, everyone always thinks excrement's like piss and shit. I think jizz is kind of like in that weird fine line of like, that's for the girl to eat, and if you're gay, like not for you who just shot it out of you, like you're not into it. I don't think like we're at have any obligation to like fucking do that unless we want to.
Ask any average guy is like, do you eat it when like women come? And they're like, women don't come, you idiot. They're not even capable of doing that.
Everyone knows that's a myth. Like, come on, guys. Like, get with
Because the
it.
clitoris doesn't exist.
Get with it. Everyone knows the clitoris is a myth.
Go on like one of those fucking like alt-right forums or some shit where they'll definitely fucking say that. They probably say like women's like clitorises like don't even fucking exist just because they can't fucking. They never have the opportunity to find it, first of all. But they also, even if they did, God knows they wouldn't be able to do it.
Everyone knows the clitoris is a product of the Chinese propaganda that is coming out of their country.
Yeah, these are the same people who like blame China entirely. Same people who blame China entirely for COVID, which is whatever, but then they also say it doesn't exist. So it's yeah, you know, keep your arguments alive. That's what that fucking idiot on The View, Meghan McCain said or whatever. McCain. She was like the same person who was like, you know, giving like, you know, saying months ago how like the virus was a myth or some shit, or that like Fauci's doing a terrible job, who literally called for Fauci to be fired today because she can't get the vaccine.
Wait, real quick. Is she in any way related to John McCain? Because I actually really like John McCain.
I hope not. It's not the same spelling of the last name. So
okay, good. Okay, all right. Because I have no idea who she was when you mentioned it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I love you, John McCain. You were one of my favorite politicians growing up. I thought you were a very wholesome lad.
And the last little bit that I have of this episode, because I really do want to fucking, we have like, I think we got like a half hour like of time left on our account right now. But I know it's pretty late in the episode, but I do really want to talk about this. I'm going to bring the house down for a minute.
Yes, you may.
If
you have the floor.
Probably just because I want to highlight this, put it on my channel as well, maybe. Just like I did with the other one. Because this is another issue with when it comes to Smash and like sexual allegations again. It actually has to do with pretty much the biggest case of it. The most, not even necessarily controversial one, but the one that pretty much hit everybody the hardest, and me personally as well. And that would be Nairo's situation. Because right now he's attempting to return to Smash or streaming or whatnot, and it's just sort of like, I wanted to talk about the community's reaction to it a little bit. So Nairo is one of the greatest Smash players in the world. He's one of the best Smash players overall. He was a top player in Brawl, Smash 4, and Ultimate. He's from Passaic. He literally, he lives around here, so he was the hometown hero for New Jersey and one of the hometown heroes of Tri-State. He had a hugely popular Twitch stream. He was my favorite Twitch streamer. Always had him on, and was probably my favorite content creator as well as player. I can safely say that in regards to the Smash community, besides people I was like personally close with and whatnot, he's the only person I ever truly idolized. And
wait, as far as like a player or like as a person, like
in general, everything really. He did a lot for the scene and for charity as well. And then what happened was,
sorry for interrupting. Yeah, go ahead.
No, it's okay. Don't worry about it. This whole story came out about how there's this young player. His name is Captain Zach. He was a top Bayonetta player in Smash 4. And there's this whole story that came out about how Nairo had sex with him or something like that when he was underage, like he was like 15 or something. No, here's the thing, Dennis, is that wasn't
the worst.
That wasn't true.
Oh, okay.
What happened is that the kid raped him. Like the kid raped Nairo is what happened. He literally like started sucking him off while he was sleeping, like when they were in the hotel room and whatnot, because he'd asked to stay in his room while they were there at that major or something, and he let him do it, and he said he was just paralyzed the whole time. And the thing with Captain Zach, he has a history of blackmail and manipulation. He was in a relationship with, briefly, with another top player named Ally, who, while he was underage as well, was one person that happened with, and even blackmailed Ally to the point where he wanted him to throw matches just because he was jealous of him. And there's another one. He came on to DeBuzz, and DeBuzz was the only person, you know, allegedly smarter than Ally to say no. And so that didn't happen. Basically, this kid was as cock hungry as you could possibly fucking make out like a young
Before he was the
person
legal age to be
before he
allowed
was
to be
even the legal age
cock
to
hungry.
be. And this kid got like the whole scenes like side on
Jesus
him and
Christ.
everything. And then what happened is that Nairo revealed that like he was actually raped by him, and he took legal action against him. And Nairo actually just recently, ever since like October, came out with a video statement saying, like, just, saying that his legal troubles are now done. He's not going to go into detail about it or anything, but that
Obviously,
he
as
finally
he
had it like settled and stuff. So now he's sort of trying to return, or like he's permabanned on Twitch. He's like trying to appeal to Twitch right now to get back on that. It's never going to be the same for him again, if we're being honest with ourselves.
Yeah,
and
sounds like it.
it's really the iffy case. I mean, like, we don't know anything because like it was settled legally and whatnot. But I'm personally, and you could call me biased or whatever, but I'm on the side of Nairo because Zach has just clearly proven himself to be this untrustworthy person. He has such a huge history of bullshit and lying and manipulation and blackmail and shit. It's like, I always had a bad read on that guy. Like, my gut feeling always told me he was a piece of shit, but, you can't, say a gut feeling and, have people believe it. Now there's evidence, and it's just, I hope he gets permabanned, which I'm assuming he probably will. I think he's been going to, like, Louisiana locals or whatever. But point is that the community's reaction to it was very interesting. Because now people are, like, trying to say, like, oh, unban Nairo, this and that, blah,
Free
blah,
Nairo?
blah. Not even that. Just, like, people are saying to unban him. And it's, like, it's just very interesting because as much as I dislike Captain Zach, I believed that whole story when he came out with it at first. Because, like, I believe victims. If anything, like, fuck the whole believe women thing. I mean, like, that's important too, but, like, it's not just women. Men are sexually harassed and assaulted. It happens. Like, I know I honestly think the vast majority of it is women, but it does happen to men.
And it shouldn't be
whenever
discounted.
Whenever it happens to men, there are double standards as well. Like, Nairo felt like he couldn't come out about it because it makes him less of a man or something like that, or that it was his fault somehow, or that he was confused. Like, a lot of the reason that victims don't even come out about their stories of abuse isn't because, like, they're necessarily just scared. It's because they're confused. A lot of the times, the biggest blamer of victim blaming is actually the victim themselves. They usually blame themselves more than anyone else when these things happen. And guys, it's a whole nother story because if you come out about it, you're like, oh, men can't be sexually harassed, blah, blah. There's still idiots who believe that out there. So, but I always, after what happened in the Smash community in July, one big thing I took from that is to believe victims. And that's just something I took to heart. It's just a really big thing that I took to heart after that whole debacle. Because most people who come out about their stories, I feel like they aren't lying. I do believe that as well, but that doesn't mean believe everything at face value. And this is my biggest question. Because a lot of people are, like, angry now. They're saying, like, oh, like, oh, look at all these fake people who are coming out and supporting Nairo now when they immediately wanted him banned and shit, like, when this July story came out. Like, they're putting themselves on, like, this fucking high-ass horse pedestal, like, complaining about people who, like, are not even, who they think are on high horse pedestals. And it's so fucking stupid because, like, yeah, no shit we thought that the guy should be banned. He didn't deny the story when it came out. He just excommunicated himself. There was nothing going for it except, like, a person's story about abuse that we were going to ignore. It's like, what do you want? It's like, just because, like, we weren't immediately on, like, he's innocent side at the very beginning doesn't mean that the details change and we can't believe him now. Like, what the fuck does that mean? It's like, we're not fake for that. Just things change, you dumb fuck. Honestly, like, this is the thing that I don't understand because, like, they always come out with, like, after July, I always told myself, believe victims. That's what I always told myself, and I do. I do believe victims. So many stories came out to the point where I couldn't even read as many twitlongers anymore. I was reading, like, I swear to God, I was reading something like, 5+ twitlongers a day, probably more than that, trying to just take in every story to the point where I couldn't do it anymore. It was just overwhelming. And, they say believe victims, but then these people come out and say, you were idiots for believing this to begin with. Everybody says, like, whenever these stories come out and things change, they'll be like, oh, typical Smash community, just seeing a twitlonger and believing it at face value, which is something that I agree with. We shouldn't just believe everything when it immediately comes out about face values. But then there are people who are, like, social workers and whatnot who always say, no matter what the situation is, believe victims. So which is it? You know what I mean? Do we believe victims no matter what the context is as soon as the story comes out, no matter what the other person says? Or are we idiots for believing every twitlonger we read? Because you kind of can't have both. That's the thing that's one of the things I'm taking away from this, because there are people who are saying you were idiots for believing that, the story about Nairo when like Zach said it and whatnot. I'm like, there was no reason not to believe it. We thought it was just like a kid coming out with like a story of abuse or some shit. We had no context. Nothing else was different. Everything was done on the fucking internet. And so now that like the details changed or whatever, it's like, now they feel like, oh, everybody's so fake. They just want to like talk about whatever the prevalent opinion is, because that's what it is to these people. Do you dumbasses not realize that maybe like the story changed, the context changed, and
Evidence
people
came out.
just changed their fucking minds about it genuinely? Do you really think that literally every single fucking person on the internet does everything for clout? Look, I know clout chasers, man. I know clout chasers personally. I literally see them on posts that have literally nothing to do with them, but if it's anything like a semblance of a controversial post in the gaming community, trust me, they're there. Because they want a piece of it. They want to see what action they can take from that, see if they can get the follow back from the original poster and whatnot, see if they can just build their repertoire up a little bit. Trust me. I've been in the back room of the Smash community long enough. I've been working my way up as a commentator long enough to know when somebody is only doing something for clout, or for, just popularity or exposure, or for any other semblance of wrong reasons. You really think everybody is just suddenly changing their minds about that whole situation just because it's the prevalent opinion now? You ever think to yourself, maybe it's the prevalent opinion just because it's the one that's actually fucking right? You ever think about that? No, everything's fake. Everything's fucking fake to you, blah, blah, blah. He's like, no better than the fucking conspiracy theorists who believe, the whole fucking Mars isn't real and the lizard people are from Jupiter. Bearded woman eating my asshole, whatever. It's like, that's one way that, most of the community is reacting. Most of the community is reacting in very big sympathy to Nairo. I can't imagine having to make a video, getting in front on camera, talking about like your horrific story of abuse and legal troubles that happened to you. Like that's just awful, because most people try to even hide that because they're, ashamed of it or scared for themselves or their image. And it must have been brave as hell for him to make that image, the poor guy. And he still has like, people supporting him after all this time. And I'm just saying, I don't think if he comes back that people will actually be in danger. That's what I think. I don't think anybody's going to be in actual danger when that comes back. Captain Zach has a history of lying and manipulation, and he's literally done this, or tried to do this, with two other dudes. Two other prevalent top players in the community. At a certain point, I think we need to realize this kid's toxic as fuck. And like, he kind of needs to be gone. At least that's the way that I see it on that front. But it's not even just the Nairo story that I wanted to talk about. It's also just, the community's reaction, like I mentioned before. It's like, which is it? Like, what do you take from that, Dennis? Like, before we clip off, I guess. Do you think like we should always like believe victims, or is it a bad thing that all of a sudden, like now that like other details are out, that people change their minds or anything like that? Like, should we question these twitlongers or these stories of abuse when they come out, or are we? Because people who question them at the beginning, they're usually like, oh, you don't believe like his story of abuse? Why would they be lying?
And they get dogged on.
And they get fucking dogged on for it. Yeah, exactly. But now in the case of people who did that with Captain Zach, turns out, they were right. Yeah, that's crazy. And I just don't get it. So, like, it's, what do you take from all this?
Personally, on your question about should we just believe everything? Sorry if I know that's not exactly what you said, but I'm just paraphrasing. Either should we...
It's basically what I said.
Yeah, either should we believe everything, or should we just kind of, I guess, declare it false, like right off the bat? Something like that?
No, never that. I don't think that should be the case.
No, but can you repeat like what you said about like the dichotomy, like the should we believe everything, and then what's the other part?
Social workers literally just say that like, oh, we should like, you should always believe victims because most victims aren't lying, and I do believe that. I don't think most people would. Why would people want that kind of negative attention on them? When stuff like that comes out. So,
yeah, most people don't even want that attention to begin with.
Exactly,
or that kind of attention.
So would you want, like, do you think, like, we should go by that notion of believing victims? Or, like, do you think it's hypocritical to go by the notion of saying we should believe all victims, but then when it turns out that one of those twitlongers wasn't true, that it's hypocritical for people to say, oh, Smash community as usual, like just believing everything at face value, because it's awkward. It's like we're told to believe these things at face value. but then we're shamed when those stories wound up being wrong, and it's not our fucking fault. You know, like it's just a story we read on the internet.
Okay. I think people are so quick to digest information, and oftentimes, like, they usually take whatever first source they find it from, and that's usually the end all be all for them, as far as like where they're getting their information and even the validity of it. It's so easy nowadays to kind of like just even, I don't know, people who use Twitter as a news source, it's like y'all need to like actually go and find other outlets. But I feel that's where a lot of people and even other social media sites, like that's where they get their news from when it comes to, I guess, I don't want to call this a scandal because it's not really, like, Nairo didn't really do anything wrong, to me at least, like based off of your story. So it's not like it's a scandal that has to do with him, in a way where it's more like, at least with the new information now, it's like now we know that what's calling like thing is the one that, like, you know,
God damn it.
He's the one that, like, you know, is at least now, like, all the daggers are being pointed at him. Personally for me, I think it's not personally how I would want people to kind of digest information, but that's kind of how it is now. I also feel, and I think this goes for anybody who digests news in general, or even in like some cases, like, are so quick to judge, just remember, personally for me, I think, yeah, everyone remember this. Like, I personally, I feel as if, same as you, David, I do initially do believe the victim, but I always feel like the I don't know, the vitriol that a lot of people have when they find out that it was bullshit, or at the very least, it was the complete opposite of what they thought. And I'm not about to compare Johnny Depp and Amber Heard and like to this whole thing, but like, it's kind of that whole scenario where like the new information comes out, like literally flips the entire story. And I think if I was Nairo, I would not even have wanted to make a video about the whole situation. I think personally for me, and I'm kind of glad that I'm not on like at least I don't have that bit of reputation like on the internet or anything, but like I would not want to put myself out there like that in the way that like this whole thing happened and I have to talk about it. Because I think for some people, yeah, it is therapeutic, but for me, it's kind of like I would never want to talk about this. And I almost personally feel like Nairo probably didn't even want to either, but he knows like I have to let my fans know like what happened because they at least deserve that much. And at the same time, did he like disappear after that whole thing happened? Like he just kind of like went off. Yeah, like went off the grid essentially.
Pretty much, yeah.
And you know, now he came back, and he knew that I can't just like fucking pop on Twitter or like pop on Twitch, even though he couldn't since he was banned. Like, and just be like, oh yeah, nothing happened. And I feel for the kid because anyone that gets caught up in something like this, like, I don't know how old you are, Nairo, but like,
like 20, I think. Something
okay,
like
right.
that.
I mean, I guess I'm old. I don't know. I feel like an old man sometimes, but it's like I feel for you, and I don't know you personally, but hey, if you somehow are listening to this, like, just know that at least this little Asian boy from Jersey does at least sympathize with you, and you're gonna get over it, King. So you know, like, you know, yeah. you got this. And to everyone who is like giving this guy a hard time, leave him the fuck alone, okay? Like, y'all have no idea what it is like to even be put into that position, and none of you, hopefully y'all never will. And you know, just give the kid some space and just let him do his own thing, and let him do his thing, and like, just don't have him like, just, he might have it as a chip on his shoulder, but like, just leave him the fuck alone when it comes to it. Like, please to God.
Literally cried when his story came out. He was the only one that really hit me that hard. You know, out of all like the stories of abuse that came around, I literally fucking cried. I wanted to quit. I made a whole tweet like talking about how I was gonna quit commentary and shit. And it was just fucking. It was a really, really dark time for all of us. Like, even in the middle of that, my ex-girlfriend texted me in like the fucking middle of like that whole debacle that was happening, apologizing about, you know,
Oh, what
some
was the date of it? Like
asinine shit. It was like July 3rd, I think.
July 3rd. Okay.
That she texted me that
Last year, right?
Yeah, last year. It was
Okay,
about like
2020, alright.
I couldn't bring it to myself to respond to that for a lot of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
I'll cross that bridge when I really come to it. But
Mm-hmm.
I literally cried when the story about Nairo came out. He was my idol. I fucking popped off with him at Let's Make Big Moves when he won, like just a couple of months prior to that, and it's just rough. I mean, I feel like most of the community is coming out with just support for him from what I've seen.
Yeah, even this
But
kid, and I don't even know you.
Yeah, even this kid, yeah. But like the environment is like so interesting, man. You know, like as it's just like, do we believe victims or are we
This is a whole
idiots for
case study
believing these things at
in and of
fucking
itself, I feel.
face value? Because I do feel like people do believe things at face value without anything, but that's what happens when, like, you know, we're just fed information from one source and we don't get anything from any of it. There was somebody I used to be friends with who had like this whole case, you know, surrounding her and whatnot. And basically, the dude dropped a twit longer, and then she dropped a twit longer. And then he dropped another twit longer, and then she dropped another twit longer, to the point where we all realized we're never gonna fucking know what happened that night. Like truly,
Yeah.
you know. But I mean, that's a whole nother debacle for some other people. I hope everybody and all parties involved have moved past it at this point. I mean, everybody received their bans and stuff. Like as soon as offline events come back, you know, like there are certain people who are banned for like a specific amount of time and whatnot. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I didn't go as in depth with this as I wanted to, or there was. You ever talk about something and you feel like you said everything that you were going to say, but you still feel like you didn't say enough?
Oh yeah, multiple times on this podcast.
Pretty much, yeah. But unfortunately, that's we're not going to be able to talk too much else about that because we're already like an hour 16 in. It's really time to wrap here. You know the drill. Riz Cold Brew.
Like your PP.
Riz flavored. There you go. Put in discount code Nintoonist.
Sorry.
Put in discount code Nintoonist. For what? What did you do?
Like rise like your PP.
Okay.
You're gonna lose your sponsorship one day. It's gonna be because of me. And I'm gonna have to profusely apologize. I'll buy you all the Rise Cold Brew you ever want.
So Rise Cold Brew. There you go. My energy is just fucking gone, dude.
I mean, it was a somber topic, you know. But
yeah, whatever. You can just put in discount code Nintoonist, get 10% off of all this stuff. You know, proceed of that will go to supporting the podcast and all that jazz. You know, get yourself some organic nitrogenated cold brew coffee and organic oat milk and variety of flavors that you see. And if you haven't subscribed to the podcast, you can go ahead and do so wherever you're listening to it, whether it's on Spotify, on YouTube, Pocket Casts, you know, whatever it is that you're listening to. Feel free to hit that follow button. That helps us out more than you know. We're always open to feedback as well, which you can hit us up at Double D Pod on Twitter for, and the Double D Experience 21 on Instagram, as well as youtube.com/Nintoonist, which is where most people listen to our podcast anyway. So that's pretty much all I gotta say, Dennis.
yeah, Sam, and just, you know, so
You
all
got
you
15
guys
more minutes to scream about Biden?
scream about everybody.
Scream about all the malarkey that comes out of his mouth?
Oh, y'all are full of shit. But yeah, just wanted to end it off like, yeah, Naira, like, what you went through was like traumatic, and you know, as I never gone through anything like that, so I don't even know like I can't even imagine like what you're feeling and what you're going through. But I think at least like thing of just, you know, I don't know if you'll ever meet me, but you know, just know like, you got this.
Yeah.
And you know, pick yourself up and like dust yourself off and keep going.
Yeah.
You got
Might
this,
not
boy.
be the same, but you still got a certain community behind you, and
You got this, boy.
you still got this guy as well.
This guy.
Yeah. All right, lights off.